Good day once again. You are all welcome to another session of our tutorial. Once again, my name is Matthew, and then I've been the one taking you through the tutorials all this while. Now, we've learned about ethnomethodology. We've also learned something about target passing. And this tutorial is mainly going to be focused on the critical theory, the Frankfurt School of Thought. So this will be our main focus of our discussion today. Without wasting much time, and then before we do any other thing, I'd like you to subscribe to this YouTube video. That if you are watching this video, please don't leave the YouTube app without subscribing to this channel, because when you subscribe, whenever new video is being uploaded, you'll be notified, so that at the end of the day, you and I, we are going to benefit. So just as I said, this session is going to be based on what we call the Frankfurt School of Thought. Now, before any other thing, one thing you need to know is that it's from the Frankfurt School of Thought that critical theory was developed. And then the main basis or the main ideas behind the critical theory was that of Karl Marx. Marxism was their main source of motivation. So they were actually looking at the kind of exploitation that is going on in the modern capitalist world. So the Frankfurt School of Thought, in a way, consists of some profound theories. So before we say any other thing, let us listen, or let us go through some brief history about the Frankfurt School of Thought. Now, the Frankfurt School of Thought was established in 1923. That was 5 years after the First World War. And then, as the Institute for Social Research at the University of Frankfurt, its founders were a group of Marxist intellectuals who sought to understand the social and economic changes taking place in Europe after World War I. The original members of the Frankfurt School of included Max Horkheimer, Theodor Adorno, Herbert Marcus, and the rest. Each of these scholars brought their own unique backgrounds and perspective to the Frankfurt School of Thought. So you could see that these theories, they all came from different backgrounds. Some were from the field of philosophy, some were from the field of sociology, some were from the field of psychology and all that. So it means that this theory was backed with a whole lot of different ideas from different theoretical perspectives. But then one thing that actually knit them together was they all had a common goal of developing a critical theory. A critical theory that will be able to explain the contradictions and the failures of a modern capitalist society. So this is just a brief history or a brief idea about what the Frankfurt School is. Now, let's look at the key ideas of the Frankfurt School. Now, just as I said that the Frankfurt School of Thought, their main motive was to develop a critical theory. A critical theory is a theory in a way that questions the status quo, that questions the way society has been for a while. So that is a critical theory. So their main aim was to develop a critical theory that was concerned with power relations and how they were maintained through culture and political institutions. Another key idea of the Frankfurt School was the concept of culture industry, which refers to the mass production of culture and entertainment by corporations. The Frankfurt School argued that this led to the homogenization of culture and loss of individuality and creativity. So just as I've already said, that the Frankfurt School of Thought, they also they actually spoke on the matter of culture industry. How the mass media or the media has been used as a way to maintain the status quo. So they criticize that. So those are some of the main ideas of what of the Frankfurt School of Thought. Finally, the Frankfurt School was known for what? Its critique of modernity. They believed that modernity had brought about a crisis of reason, where instrumental rationality has placed critical thinking and reflection. So they also spoke about the fact that modernity, in a way, is taking away the rationality of humans. That human beings have become passive. Human beings are not no more able to rationalize things. That we depend on almost technology to do everything. That we use technology as an instrument to achieve whatever that we want. What instrumental rationality, that we use technology, the mass media, and everything to what to do whatever that we want to do, and as a result, we are not able, or we have lost, in a way, we are losing our capability to rationalize as human beings. This has led to a world where individuals were alienated from each other and from their own humanity. So you could see that every human relationship, just as we are talking about, has been limited to the social media. Every human relations has been limited to the social media. That to the point that a father or a mother can go and stay somewhere and leave the children in the house, or in the name that I will call you, I will talk to you. So these are some of the critiques that all the Frankfurt School of Thought they brought about their main ideas. Number one, they developed the critical theory that sought to question the status quo. And then also they also developed or spoke about what we call the cultural industry, how popular music, in a way, is making us complacent. In a way, it's making us feel comfortable. And as a result, we are not motivated to question the status quo. So those are some of the key ideas of the Frankfurt School. And then, just as these ideas has been backed by a lot of critiques. Now, impact of the Frankfurt School. The Frankfurt School has had a profound impact on the contemporary thoughts and culture. Its ideas have influenced critical theory, postmodernism, and social and political movements around the world. One of the key contributions of the Frankfurt School is its critique of modernity. I've already spoken about that. The school argued that modern society was characterized by an instrumental rationality that reduced everything to a means to an end. So, technology or modernity, in a way, has reduced everything to the means to an end. That in a way, we have placed some sort of economic value even in our relations, even in our human relations, that we use our human relations as a means to achieve some sort of economic value. Why? That is because that is the way those people who own the means to production, those people who own businesses in the modern world, they have what made the status quo to be. So the Frankfurt School of Thought brought ideas that question this status quo. The Frankfurt School of Thought called for a new form of critical theory that could challenge the status quo and promote social and political change. The Frankfurt School of Thought, as I said earlier, has followed or has received a lot of critiques. The Frankfurt School has followed a lot of critiques. Now, one of the critiques that it has followed, that people, or one of the criticism that a lot of scholars have been saying about this, the ideas of the Frankfurt School, is that it only focused on the mass culture. It only focused on cultural critique, giving less attention to the actual exploitation that is going on in our physical environment, giving less attention to the actual exploitation that was going on in the political environment. That it was only concerned about how technology and how mass culture is used to maintain equilibrium in the society, thereby increasing exploitation. And then another criticism of the Frankfurt School is that it was Eurocentric in its outlook, that it failed to appreciate the diversity of culture and historical experiences across the globe. So the Frankfurt School of Thought was only centered on on the Europe, the Europeans. that they fail to appreciate the diversity of culture and historical experiences across the globe. Critics have pointed out that the school's theories were largely based on the experiences of Western Europe and Northern America and did not adequately account for the perspective of Western societies. So these are some the ideas or some the main a summary of the main ideas that are in the critical theory. That just know that it was the critical theory was developed by some of the members of the Frankfurt School. So, just as I said earlier, the critical theory contended that mass media and other institutions, just as companies, education, and politics, extended a stifling instrumental or strategic rationality into all spheres of society, suppressing critical thought. Now, you can actually relate with our modern world, that you could see that human beings in a way we fail to think simply because technology has been made available, that even to the extent that whenever assignment is given, students in a way use what internet. Students in a way, instead of them to think critically, they use softwares in order to feed them with the knowledge that they need, as a result making us feel complacent. Now, one thing that we also need to understand is that every time that we use this instrument, it is actually increasing the economic interest of other people, of those that has contributed or of those that actually produce that sort of technology. So the Frankfurt School of Thought or the critical theory sought to contend against the mass media, that the mass media actually controls the information that reaches the public, that those who control the means of production, and that they are those people that also control the mass media, that they have used that as a means to to maintain equilibrium in the society. They have used that as a means to prevent criticism against the status quo. So the main ideas of this theory was influenced by Marxism, but then the theory explained why the revolution that Marx envisioned has not yet happened. The main theories of this theory are Theodor Adorno, Max Horkheimer, Herbert Spencer, and Jürgen Herbamas. So we are going to look at one after or one of them, their profound contribution to to the critical theory. Now, when we Horkheimer, as an example, Max Horkheimer. Horkheimer was one of the founders of Frankfurt School, a group of scholars who sought to apply Marxist ideas to social and cultural analysis. He is best known for his work on the concept of cultural industry, which refers to the way in which popular culture is produced and consumed in a capitalist society. So Max Horkheimer, in a way, he spoke against popular culture. That Max Horkheimer, especially Karl Marx, was of the view that the exploitation in a way takes place in the subculture. But then Horkheimer and his friends were of the view that no, exploitation does not only take place in the subculture, but then the superculture, which contains the mass media, the politicians, the universities, and the rest. They are also promote some sort of exploitations. They shape the ideas of human beings that in a way seek to maintain the status quo. That there was this theory, Postman. He said something. He said that television, in a way, has been one of the world's greatest calamity, or one of the greatest calamities that has ever befallen man. And he actually spoke about the fact that the way technology, especially television, in a way is used to calm us down, is used to make us relax. Therefore, providing for what? For our needs, therefore making us unconscious of the fact that there's some sort of exploitation in the current status quo, therefore making us unable to question the status quo. So Horkheimer was against the idea or the implementation of culture industry, that the film industry in a way manipulates the affect of people. Theodore Adorno was also another key figure in the Frankfurt School. He is known for his work on the culture industry, as well as his critique of popular music and its role in society. So Theodore Adorno, just like Max Horkheimer, he is also against the popular culture. And then he also spoke against jazz music and popular music. That how the bourgeoisie, or how those who own the means to production, they have used music in a way to make human beings contented. They have made human beings complacent in a way, preventing them from thinking critically. That in the situations whenever they are alone, instead for them to think critically about how the social world is going, they either listen to popular music, they either listen to jazz music, which in a way controls or are being controlled by those who own the means to production. So all these things are the means through which the ruling class are using to maintain the status quo, and as a result, increasing exploitation in the social environment. So Adorno argued that popular music was a form of mass culture that served to reinforce dominant social norms and values. Another theorist of the Frankfurt School is Herbert Marcus. Herbert Marcus. Herbert Marcus was a philosopher and a sociologist who was associated with the Frankfurt School. He is best known for his concept of repressive desublimation, which refers to the way in which society uses promise of pleasure to keep people from questioning social norms and values. That you could see that now when we talk about the repressive desublimation, we are talking about the idea that people see technology, people see the mass media as neutral, that the mass media in a way can be used for good things and in a way can be used for bad things. And as a result, we can't see the exploitation or the damage that the mass media is doing to us, because our needs are being catered for by the mass media. Our needs are being catered for by technological means. That whenever we are going somewhere, we pick cars. We all we take transport. Transportation or the cars that we pick in a way are servicing us some parts of our needs, because we are able to get to our workplaces earlier on. But then, amidst that, have we ever thought of it that the cars that we are using, it is the way increasing the economic interest of other people? So Herbert Marcuse actually spoke about repressive desublimation, a situation whereby our needs are being met, and by technological factors or by the technological means, the mass media and all that, and as a result, we are not able to question the status quo. We are not able to question the danger that technology has posed for us. That you could see that every day, members, especially in the African context, as members are always seeking for good roads that has been coded, that we have used code, but we are not thinking about the fact that whenever we do code out, there is no way it actually destroys the nutrients of the land, in a way destroying the nature. But then these are technological means. Why? At the end of the day, they are servicing our needs. And then as a result of that, we are not able to question the status quo. So that is Herbert Marcuse' idea of repressive desublimation. That a situation whereby pleasure has been promised us, and as a result, we are not able to question the social norms and the social values. And then one other thing that Herbert Marcuse also spoke about was his idea of repressive tolerance. His idea of repressive tolerance. And then we are going to speak more about that. How technological rationality has brought about what we call repressive tolerance. That because technology, we use technology in everyday life, as a result, we have become tolerant of the repression that is what it is, the damage that it is doing unto us. So according to Herbert Marcus, technological rationality lead to two things, that is repressive disublimation and repressive tolerance. Repressive disublimation and repressive tolerance. Now we talk about, just as I said, repressive disublimation, because our needs are being met by the introduction of technology by the capitalist world. As we are not able to question the status quo. And then the repressive tolerance actually talks about the fact that human beings will think that technology or the advent of social media and the rest is what is neutral. It can be used to do something bad, and at the same time it can be used for good. And as a result, we are not able to question the damage that it is doing unto us. We are not able to question the exploitation that we are going through. And as a result, it tends to maintain the status quo. Herbamas is a philosopher and a sociologist who has been associated with the Frankfurt School. He is known for his work on communicative action, which refers to the way in which people use language to create and maintain social relations. That according to Herbamas, a society, or for a society for there to be order in the society shouldn't be what? Shouldn't be repressed. That there shouldn't be some sort of exploitation in the society, that there should be what we call a public sphere. A public sphere, when we talk about a public sphere, according to Herbamas, a public sphere is an aspect of society whereby rationality takes place, whereby the ideas of other people are taken into consideration. The ideas of other people that actually questions the status quo are taken into consideration, and at that particular instant, new forms and new ideas are being formed in order to maintain the collective good of the entire society. So that is Herbamas' idea of God, communicative action. That he says that if you are to allow communication to take place in what? In the society, in the capitalist society, that if we are to allow human beings to express themselves freely in the public sphere, then the status quo is going to be questioned. By then it is in a situation whereby there is no public sphere, that is when the status quo is being maintained. So these are the main contribution, the main ideas of the theories behind the critical theory. Now, let us look at the ideas in general that the critical theory is talking about. The main argument of the critical theories that they contend that the capitalist society, or those who own the means of production, have been used to maintain social order in the society. Number one, we are going to talk about technology, not social progress. Technology and social progress. You could see that it is so explicit. Yes, it is good that technology has been very useful, that we use technology for almost everything, that we have capitalized and that we have stood on the efficiency that comes with technology, and as a result it has made the individual in the society complacent. That in a way we have limited everything, we have limited human relations to technology, that we can't see the exploitation that technology is taking us through. That human beings, we are not able to rationalize. We are not able to make sure that we are not able to use rationality to maintain our social progress. That our social progress in a way is being maintained by technology. That it has made human beings passive. That technology in a way has taken some sort of power from human beings, that instead for human beings to gain mastery over technology in a way is the one that is controlling the social progresses. Then another thing that we can also talk about is the dialectic of enlightenment. Now, when we talk about the founder of sociology, Auguste Comte, his idea of the law of three stages, he actually said that every society moves from from the theoretical stage to what to metaphysical stages where there is some sort of rationality, whereby human beings are able to rationalize, whereby human beings take decisions based on rationality. But then what do we see? The advent of technology in a way has taken the rationality of human beings for granted. That it has trivialized the rationality of human beings, that human beings are no more able to think because there are some people who own the means to production who have in a way thought for us and then have provided some sort of technology for us that in a way is preventing us from thinking individually, that in a way is preventing us from questioning the status quo. That you could see that especially all that we are all trying as much as possible, you could see that the new technological idea or the new technological invention that has come is AI, artificial intelligence. That you could see that the AI in a way can do anything. We have the one that is able to create slides, we have the one that is able to do everything. Now, yes, we human beings, in a way, we have consented to them because we can't see or we can't because it performs or it actually satisfies some aspects of our needs. But then we can't see the damage that what technology is doing for us. That we have traded our rationality for technological progress. That the technology that in a way that is supposed to assist us to be rational in a way has overcome our rationality as human beings. That is the dialectic of enlightenment. Next thing we are also going to talk about, or that the Frankfurt school of thought or the critical theory also talk about, that the capitalist world has used as a means to maintain the status quo, is that technology is used as a means of social control. That you could see that there are some offices that before you enter that office, you have been given some electronic access cards to clock in and clock out whenever you are coming into the office or you are leaving the office. It is in a way used to check our movement. It is used to maintain social control. It is used to maintain to check our whatever that we are doing, and as a result, as a result maintaining the status quo in the society. Now, recently, that the ECOWAS card was made, and a lot of us we were happy that it has been made. But then you could see that it is being used as a means to control us. It is being used as a means to control us. That you could see that especially the communication aspect or the government was trying as much as possible to allow its members to register their SIM cards with the electronic access or with the Ghana card or the ECOWAS card. But then you could also see that as soon as you register it, it is in a way used to check your every movement, how you move or how you use the devices that you are using. So it is used to check our movement. So technology in a way has been used as a means of social control. So you have EZ passes and other GPS devices. So technology has been used as a means of social control. You could see that on social media, those people who actually created the social media, they use that as a means to monitor the activities of other people. That is when they are able to actually investigate how other people are able to make their wealth. Technology is being used as a means of social control, thereby making us complacent in our quest to question the status quo. Another thing we can talk about, that the capitalists world has been used to maintain social order and to prevent us from questioning the status quo is the mass culture and then what? And then consumption. That television as a means of entertainment are used to increase the economic interest of those who produce them. That just as I said, that postman, he said that television has become one of the world's greatest calamity, or one of the calamity that has ever befallen man. That how technology in a way uses to calm our mind, how television, we watch television in a way to rest, in a way to cool our heads. All these things in a way satisfy some aspect of our needs, thereby making us complacent, thereby shifting our thoughts on the fact that there's some sort of exploitation that comes with the television that we are using. That now they have even produced DSTVs that you have to subscribe. That if you want better services, then you must subscribe to the DSTV. So all these things are the means that all the capitalist world are using as a means of social control in order to prevent us, or in order to prevent us being conscious of how there's an exploitation in the status quo. We can also talk about society's rational control of nature, that we have used, or we are trying to use technology as a means to control nature. That we use excavators. Those people who engage in illegal mining, they use excavators and all other things just to control the nature, to get the things out of the nature, and as a result, destroying the nature. But then we may not be able to become conscious of the damage that all that is doing to us. Why? Because we are using technology as a means to control the nature. We are using technology as a means to what? To manipulate nature for our needs. Because the technology that we are using, in a way, is what? Is satisfying some aspect of our needs. So society's rational control of nature, that we invest our monies in houses that in a way can collapse. We build mansions, we build all of that, all in our attempt to control the nature. Ask yourself, how were the hunter gatherers? How were they living? They solely dependent on nature. But then we put money in building houses, using air conditions and all that. That you can see that wherever that we are, when the person is in the office, the person is using air condition. When the person gets in the car, the person is using air condition. When the person gets to home, the person what is also using air condition. No wonder there is a lot of stroke cases in our health industry. That a lot of people are getting stroke. Why? Because everywhere that we go, we find ourselves in AC. So these are some of the means that the capitalist world, they are using as a means to control us and then preventing us from questioning the status quo. Technology and profit. That we live in a world whereby profit orientation actually determines the way we use technology. That if you are going to use technology, it's not as if you are going to use it in order to promote our social processes, in order to increase our human relations, but what we are what profit oriented. We are profit oriented. That everything that we are doing, we use technology as what? Profit orientation. The profit actually determines how technology is being used. A situation whereby the capitalists, or those who own the means of technology or the means of production, have used technology as a means to increase their economic interest, as a means to make profits. But then we become unaware because, in a way, it is satisfying our needs. We can also talk about culture of advertising, that the way the mass media is used, the way the radio stations, the TV stations, the way they even advertise goods, they have actually limited the essence of life to the consumptions of goods and services. That human relations has been reduced to the consumptions of goods and services, leading to what we call hegemony of consumption. That we have actually reduced human relation to consumption. That the way they manipulate affect, the way the mass media manipulate, use advertisement to manipulate our affect in order for us to buy the goods that they want us to buy. For example, there has been this brutally adverts that they use, or they advertise the product in the context of love. They manipulated the affect of other people. So in a situation whereby you want to have some kind of a stroll, or you want to have some kind of stroll or a day out with a friend or someone, you are going to buy frutally because of how they advertise the product to you. A situation whereby human action or human relations has been reduced to the consumption of goods and services. And also talk about controlled consumption. Controlled consumption. That you could see that we are saying that we have entrepreneurs who are in a way opportunists, that it's not as if they look at the needs of other people, but then they create false needs for us. They actually create the product and then present it to us through advertisements, making it seem as if that is what we need, thereby creating what we call false need for us. They are doing all these things because their end goal is what? Is to make profit. So technology, the mass media, in a way, has also been used as a means to control our consumption. That is not as if they are producing what our actual needs are. It's not as if they are producing to meet our actual needs. But then they are producing, they see, or they produce what they see that we need, or what they know we need, but not what we actually need, thereby creating what we call false needs. Media reality, the use of the mass media and technology has also created some sort of false reality, that we could actually relate with some of the characters in movies. We could actually relate. We can watch movies and we can actually see ourselves in the movie. That we can actually see that this movie or this film is talking to us. Media reality. That in reality, the actor in the movie can be a carpenter, but in reality, the actor in the movie would be a doctor, creating some sort of fictions. You can see that there are some adventures, some movies that in a way are not real, but then they have in a way created it to be some sort of reality that in a way calms us down. That whenever we are watching the television, whenever we are on the media, it creates some sort of reality for us. That in a way actually makes us complacent, that in a way cools us down, cools our mind, in a way that prevents us from questioning the status quo. In cultural totalitarianism, the creating of false needs, suppression of ideas as means to maintain the perpetuation of capitalism. Suppression of ideas as a means to maintain perpetuation of capitalism. Just as Herbert Marcus said, that technology and the capitalist world, the advent of social media and technology, in a way has brought what we call repressive disublimation. That they are able Technology and the mass media are able to meet our needs. They are able to meet our needs, and as a result, preventing us from questioning the status quo, that we see everything as normal, thereby creating some sort of what? Cultural totalitarianism. That we live in the world. We live in a world that if you are not on social media, people see you as not being serious. People see you as not being part of their class. Cultural totalitarianism. That because the social media, actually there's a lot of enticement, there's a lot of what? Excitement on the social media, that you can see that people can actually spend about hours, 8 hours on the social media, whilst those people who create the means of production, they are finding ways and ideas in order to produce for them. They are finding ways and means in order to make the social media lively for them, thereby preventing them from thinking. That the human beings are to become conscious of the fact that every single minute that they spend on the social media, it is in a way increasing the economic interest of some people. Then they will begin to question the status quo. But then the human beings, in a way, they have also consented to the idea, they have also consented to the services and the comforts that the social media provides, and as a result creating some sort of cultural totalitarianism, in a way their ideas to criticize that status quo has been suppressed. Next thing that we are also going to talk about is politics, is uniformity and control. You can also see that the politicians, they also use technology, the social media, as a means of control. That you can see that we have some of the politicians who own some of the social media platforms, some of the politicians who own some parts of the media, the radio stations and others. That it is what they want to be said is what is going to be said on the media. That is what they want to be said about their party, is what they want to be said about what their parties, is what is going to be said. So they use the social media, they use technology as a means of what? Political control. You can see that we have some of what of the political parties that before you can be a member, you must have membership cards. You must have some electronic access. All these things are used to track the members, are used to check their movement. So the politicians, in a way, they also use technology as a means of social control. You can also see that uniformity and control is also being produced by the mass media. That the way they advertise politicians, the way they advertise them, there's some sort of uniformity in the way they advertise them. You can see there's some sort of propaganda everywhere, trying as much as possible. And then one thing we need to know, that all these ideas that are being shared on the social media, that has been shared on the television, that are being shared on the radio station by the politicians, in a way determines the way we rationalize things. Because the information that is available unto us determines the way we rationalize things. So it's what they want us to hear, is what they are going to say on the media. So politics, in a way, adapt social media and technology as a means of uniformity and social control. We can also talk about technological rationality and repressive tolerance. Just as I said, that technology is seen as neutral, that technology can be used to do good and at the same time can be used to do bad. So, because technology can be used to do good, we tend to turn blind eye on how technology, the damage that technology, the social media is doing to us. We tend to overlook the damages of what, or the harm that technology and social media is causing us by actually capitalizing on the services that it provides for us. But we tend to look, or we tend to give blind eye to the damage, to the contribution of industries to global warming by actually looking at the services that they provide for us. That is repressive tolerance. So technological rationality, that we use technology in everything that we do, that we use artificial intelligence in one way or the other, but then we are not thinking about the damage that it is doing to us. We are not thinking about the fact that it is taking out our rationality away from us. We are not thinking about the fact that we are not able to rationalize things ourselves, to the extent that if the internet or the artificial intelligence is no more there, people cannot think. People cannot think. So that is how technological rationality actually leads to repressive tolerance. Then the one last thing that we are going to talk about is technology as political control. Technology as political control. The voters' ID cards, the ECOWAS ID cards, that you could see that the ECOWAS ID card and then some other ID cards, especially the green card and all the cards that are being used in a way politically are used as a means to control us, to check our movement and here and there. That as soon as you register your SIM card with that ID card, in a way, it tracks every single thing that you do with that number. That they are able to accumulate information and they are able to actually track your movement, thereby, in a way, preventing us from questioning the status quo. This actually brings us to the end of our discussion on Frankfurt School of Thought, the critical theory. I hope and I believe that this recorded session or this video has been helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. That please, if you have not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe so that our services are going to be improved. Thank you very much for your time and attention. God bless you. See you later on. Bye.